Welcome everyone to day 3 of this series between Australia and New Zealand. Series poised at 1-1, of course. And this first morning session of day 3 is chill. It's so chill, I thought I would show you pretty much the entirety of it sped up, because nothing really happened. There's a few ones, there's a few twos, there's just a few moments. At least the first few overs here anyway. How far in do we get? 11.5 overs. Edged and taken. So with only 4 runs scored in the first few overs, just some slow going by the Australians. After yesterday they managed 9 runs from 8 overs. They managed a solid 3 or 4 with David Warner getting out to begin proceedings here on day 3. Or at least early on in the day, I suppose. But Australia at the moment trying to post a match-winning total for the Kiwis to obviously attempt to chase down. At the moment, that lead is over 100. It's 103. So in essence, you could say Australia is currently 1 for 113. Obviously, the lead 113 at the moment, so they scurry through for another single. But look at Joe Burns. Look at the strike rate of him. 15 from 74. My goodness, Marnus has made that many runs in 40 balls. But it has been slow going. Obviously, batted fairly slow. Wanted to get myself, I suppose it is myself because there's two batsmen. Wanted to get the guys in at the middle. And that is just a glorious drive through the offside. Look at this outfield though. It just holds up at the end. These boundaries might be difficult to come by. Labuschagne picks up 3, surpasses Joe Burns' score in half the amount of deliveries. And that'll be the first boundary of the day. It is from Buys. So it's just been a strange sort of opening session here. I wanted to just speed that bit up at the start, because I actually thought a lot more of the session was a lot slower than that. But I think there was a huge amount of period of time where the run rate was well and truly under 1.5. Now as we look toward the end of this morning session, is this the last ball of that first session? It might be. But Australia now have jumped that run rate up to 2. It's just gone over 2 as we hit the 36th over. 1 for 76. And that will be the end of that morning session. So a pretty slow going one from the Aussies. But in the end they piled on, what was that, 67 runs for the loss of David Warner. Labuschagne and Burns currently in the middle with a 63-run partnership. Time to begin this second session. I think we'll see a little bit more of an attacking approach here from the Aussies in this second session. Obviously wanting to get as many runs as they can for this lead. Look at that, 169 the lead now. Obviously you could say maybe 1 for 169, I suppose. Sweeping is Labuschagne, and it's a top edge that's taken. So they get the breakthrough they so desperately desired, New Zealand. And it's the spinner Astle who's got it. Colin de Grandhomme takes the catch. The Kiwis get that wicket they obviously were elusively looking for. And it comes from a sweep of all shots. Haven't seen that for a while for the Aussies. A miscued sweep. I thought I played that pretty well. Remember, if you do enjoy today's video, smash that like button. And Steve Smith will score 3,000 runs on day 3 for Australia. I don't even know who's in at the moment. It's probably New Zealand, I would suggest, on day 3. Maybe that's just a guess. Australia currently 2 for 91. Joe Burns in the middle. A little bit of a thud onto the pad. Lucky there was no man just around the corner there for Joe Burns. Spinner bowling well. This time it's straight to the short leg. Just a little block. A fraction of an edge. Balloons up off the pad. And the catch is taken, and the Kiwis have 2 quick ones. Astle, the bowler on both occasions. Look at that, just balloons up. Is that Tom Blundell, number 66. In at short leg. Joe Burns departs for 37, and all of a sudden they got a couple of fresh batsmen into the crease, New Zealand. So the Aussies with Smith and Wade out there. Wade, let's has batted okay this series. Steve Smith also batted okay in this series. The lead of Australia up to 180. This time Wade is sweeping. That one catches the glove. And a third wicket for Astle. It's been a good start to this session for the Kiwis. The second time we've seen a player dismissed with a sweep. And Colin de Grandhomme at that leg slip position has taken another catch. Matthew Wade out for a duck. 4 for 96 Australia. The lead 180. So now Travis Head and Steve Smith look to not necessarily recover here for Australia, but they want to put on a bit of runs. There's still a little bit of pressure that lead. 180, they want to push that up to 200, 250. Ideally, they get that up to 350, but we'll wait and see how this progresses. Travis Head obviously scoring the half century in the first innings. Did he score 100? He was pretty close to 100. I know he definitely scored a half up. Warner scored the 100 in the first innings. Steve Smith yet to be dismissed, and an inside edge from Travis Head. Hits the pad, and the keeper accepts the take. Look at this, just jumping in front of the stumps to get there was Watling. And Australia lose wicket number 5. New Zealand putting themselves back in this game. Australian skipper Tim Payne out the middle now with Stephen Smith. Hoping the Aussies can continue to at least start building a partnership, I suppose. The Kiwis looking to keep their momentum going. So come back for 3 here. That lead closing in toward 200. It is over 200 now, and Smith with a little bit of aerial action there through mid-wicket. Does it quite have the power to reach the boundary rope? It does. So, good boundary there from Smudge, who's looked pretty comfortable at the crease. 25 from 26. The highest strike rate we've seen of any of the batsmen so far in this Australian innings especially. Smith going in a run of ball. Payne getting a couple more runs to his total. He's up to 3 now, as the Aussies continue to just tick this score along. But as we were saying, obviously Steve Smith is batting on a different pitch to everyone else. They're all going at really low strike rates, everything under sort of the 50 region for that strike rate. Not necessarily super effective. But Tim Payne also looking quite comfortable at the crease. We've seen a little bit more of an attacking Tim Payne lately, where he has tried to score runs quickly for Australia, and it has allowed them to put themselves in really aggressive positions. This is a big shout and given. So Wagner gets the wicket of Smith, but he is going to review. So let's have a look here. His LBW is a long way across Steve Smith. Pitching in line, impact in line, and it's just going on to clip that leg stump by the barest of margins, I suppose. That angle, maybe the ball. I mean, if you actually look at, I suppose, some of the dismissals that we've seen, or the non-dismissals we've seen throughout this Australian summer, especially during the Big Bash, with the bails not coming up off the stumps, that could have been not out. But a bit of luck going the Kiwis' way. An umpire's call review sees them get the wicket of Steve Smith, who was looking good at the crease. Australia's lead 237, up to 239 with this 2 from James Pattinson, who has batted quite well. He's probably been the most consistent Australian batsman, picking up 30-odd runs every innings, 30, 40 runs every innings, even making a half century, I do believe, in one of them. Oh, that's close. Turned a long way. Not out, says Alim Dar. Oh, shot. That's the best shot we've probably seen today. Hasn't been too many boundaries from the Aussies. Lots of 2s, lots of 3s. This is a good one, just tucked away by Tim Payne. And I suppose he now holds the key for Australia. If he can put on 70, 80, 90, 100 runs, Australia be in a very strong position. As we say, if he can put on, a bonus 40 runs here, that lead of Australia all of a sudden is up to 300. as Tim Payne will bring up a 50 here. No mid on, so he's happy to play it off the back foot, pick up 2. That's 50 for him from 45 balls. As you can see, just the 4 boundaries. Sorry for skipping through that. I think I might do that a couple more times before this test match is over, but apologies. This is a big shout here. Just nipped in late, didn't it? Oh, not out. Look, what are they going to do here? Will we see a review? Gee, definitely looked close, though, didn't it? No review from the Kiwis as Pattinson hits this in the air. A couple of bounces to the fielder for 1. No real harm done there. And this is well driven and into the gap of mid-wicket. Southey can't get there. A 4 for the Aussies and Tim Payne. This lead continues to grow. They're just 11 runs away now from a lead of 300. Obviously with that 3. So Pattinson and Payne, the 2 Ps. Can they continue this partnership? They're still putting a little bit of pressure on the Aussies here. I think there's been a few quiet overs in a row. Another dot ball from Pattinson, and that'll be the end of that second session for Australia. So we will have a lot of overs to bowl tonight. 6 for 209. A productive one from a New Zealand point of view and from an Australian point of view, I suppose. So about 120 runs put on, with 5 wickets taken from the Kiwis. Australia leading by 293. Obviously posting a total for New Zealand to chase down as we begin the final session of play. Look at that. So many overs as the lead jumps over 300. I think there might have been 5 or 6 overs where there was very few runs scored. So this is a drought-breaking shot here from Pattinson to get it to the boundary. Oh, that's better too. He likes the short stuff, Pattinson. Likes bowling it, and he's played it very well. Not only in this match, but in the previous test as well. Tim Payne, what's he on? 61 from 91. Just a little dot ball there, not sure what's happening. 3 balls, 3 overs, sorry, until the new ball is due. This is a big shout here. There's some slowish fielding. Is this out? Oh, gee, we're going to have to see this on the replay screen. Let's have a look. It is close and given. So Pattinson out for 29. I think he might have just been short. Brings Pat Cummins to the middle. Also, just quietly, Tim Southey, 10.2 overs, none for 9. First of all, not sure why he hasn't bowled many more overs, but that's a wicket. It's not Southey, it's Henry who gets it. Pat Cummins just playing at a ball he could have left, snagging the edge and taking a wicket. So that run out brought a second wicket. Cummins goes for a duck. Mitchell Starc out to the middle of the lead, 314. New Zealand don't want any more than that. They got an over before the new ball, and oh, that is a cracking shot from Mitchell Starc. Just a full toss, driven perfectly through the covers. And we know that he likes to score quickly. Don't believe the new ball was taken, by the way. As we are into the 80th over now. Mitchell Starc, 15 from 9, 16 from 10. 81 overs gone. Edge and taken. Must be the new ball then. Maybe the new ball must be out in effect as de Grandhomme gets the wicket. It is Tim Payne this time, the Australian skipper who goes. Fought well at the crease, pushed this total up for the Aussies. 61 from 104. I think he was about 50 from 50 at one stage, so very slow going for those next 11 runs. Nathan Lyon in the middle for Australia, 250 up. Lead of 333. as we speak. What will this final total become for Australia? How much damage can these two pile on and inflict to the Kiwi side? Obviously a very difficult fourth innings chase. Anything above 250 is always going to be tough, but into the 340s now. 342 with that boundary from Nathan Lyon. Just casually at the crease, taking his time, making sure that Australia are soaking up the minutes before they get to bowl a little bit later on tonight. Lyon once again finds a gap, gets two more. 346 the lead. Now Stark to the onside. What are they going to do here? Not even running. They will pick up the single eventually. Lead of 3-4-7. Colin de Grandhomme steaming in as much as he can. There might be a bit of bat on this. It's in the air and it is given. So Lyon and Stark charge off. The Kiwis get Australia out. The target of 348 required for victory for New Zealand. Blundell getting that last catch. And the Kiwis just ballooned up off the bat. Nathan Lyon, didn't it? As we look into this final session. 348. The chase required for New Zealand. For Australia, Tim Payne 61, Steve Smith 38. The two guys who really helped them push this total up. Astle getting another 4 wickets to take his total to 9 for the test match. Going to be Pat Cummins to Tom Blundell with the new ball. Kiwis looking for a good start. As we said, we saw a good start in that first test as well. I mean, the first innings. But after that, it was just all the Aussie quicks. Pat Cummins, first ball of the innings. And through to the keeper.
Yep.
Oh, gee, good bowling early here. Bit of a shout. Don't think there was any bat on that. No point reviewing.
Yep.
So maiden to begin, and now an outside edge from Latham. The Aussie quicks have been much better with the new ball in this test than they were in Melbourne. Already Mitchell Stark snagging that outside edge of Tom Latham. Unfortunately, goes through the gap. Now Blundell off the mark. Gets a couple of runs to the end. Oh, gee, they thought about a third then. Not sure Latham wanted it. They didn't get it in the end. Now another edge from Tom Latham, who scored all 8 of his runs from boundaries. From edges. An outside one, then an inside one. So I believe New Zealand will have to face somewhere around the 15 overs tonight. They might be reduced if we don't get all of those overs in. Actually, I think one of them getting a few less than that. Maybe only 7. I'm not sure. There's another edge from Latham. Takes his total of runs from edges to 12. This time he finally gets a bit of confident bat on it. Comes back for 3. His first genuine runs, I suppose, that weren't off the outside edge. Mitchell Stark to bowl the final over of the day's play, as this one's going to be considered buys. A short ball to Tommy Blundell. Final ball of the day. New Zealand currently none for 30. And Blundell just taps it onto the onside for a dot. New Zealand survive the 8 overs until stumps. None for 30. Chasing 348 for victory. Australia will require 10 wickets for a win. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I'll see you all on day 4, where you will see the most epic finish you have ever seen yet. So stay tuned for tomorrow. It's going to be a cracking day's play.